So it's been about a week and a half since we successfully defended Super Earth from the Illuminate, and if I gotta be honest, it didn't go too great. It was basically like being forcefully fucked in the mouth against our will by 8 feet tall squids, and from the beginning, they apparently did a drive-by on Mars for some reason, just completely blasted it. But they also wiped out 5 of the 7 megacities, leaving only China and Europe alive, which I gotta say ain't that great. But if being honest, it could have gone better if we had the DSS at the start. Quick epic side note, living in upstate New York is great, especially when it rains for a month straight and knocks your power out halfway through recording and editing a video. So most of the footage of the early major orders are just happen to be a little corrupted. So I'm gonna have to bust out my amazing artistic and MS Paint skills, so that way there's at least something there. Before we can, get into like the actual battle for Super Earth, we gotta talk about the previous major order, which, after the first few days of it, like everybody abandoned and kind of screwed us over a little bit. So basically how this major order worked was that the Meridian Black Hole spawned the Illuminate fleet, like all their ships, everything. It just spewed them out, and they were on a warpath to Super Earth. So because of all the fleet, we were guaranteed to lose the 3 planets in their way: Widow's Harbor, Peelin 5, and New Haven. However, we could slow the Illuminate fleet down by completing missions and operations, basically like defense missions, which would result in damage to the fleet when they finally got to Super Earth, so it would go faster. However, even with 120 plus people fighting them, they still big-dicked us and carved through the planets like a hot knife through butter. And by the time they actually got there, we basically did nothing. On top of that, people sent the DSS to the front, which caused it to be damaged and put out of order. Not once, but twice. So after the first time, which I'll be honest, alright? I'm a humble man, okay? I sent it there. I voted for it to go there the first time, because I didn't know, okay? Don't blame me. But after the first time, it transmitted right back out, because believe it or not, the Illuminate have orbital guns that they shot at it. And so after the first time, it said not to do it again. But thankfully, no one in this community can read, so they sent it back, and it got damaged heavily and wasn't able to be used. So after the Illuminate glassed those 3 planets, like real quick, they finally got to Super Earth, launching the main event. Basically, how it worked was, once the Illuminati got there, they would launch attacks on the 7 megacities on Super Earth. And from that, it would start like a defense campaign on each city. You'd go in there, do like a few missions to finish the operation. Nothing we haven't seen before on the other defense missions. However, there was no way to win the defense campaigns. You could only hold it at a certain percent, which I think is 99.96%. So the entire goal was just to hold them until the very end of the major order. And as long as we held 1 megacity, we'd win at the end. However, at the start of the battle, the fleet strength was at 79% from all the damage we did in the previous major order, which obviously wasn't a lot. So when the first actual MO of Super Earth came out, it was to kill 2.5 billion Illuminate in only 3 days, which we were able to do, being honest, even though 3 of the megacities were under attack, and, Egalopolis fell within the first 2 days, which, hey, I was there, I was fighting, alright, I got my campaign medal. Don't yell at me. The next MO was to extract from 20 million missions, which we failed at 96%. Everybody blamed the people who are on the other fronts, but if I'm being honest, we could have easily, and I mean easily, done this if everyone just did low-level missions and sped ran them to completion like I did. I did level 1 missions that they take at least 4 minutes to do. Okay? Like the overship and black box missions, these are easy. 4 minutes, speed run it. All there is voteless and maybe like a single overseer that you can fucking backhand. So if like a bunch of people did it, we would have like 100k missions done in 1 hour. But everybody, everybody wanted to do the high level missions, like little 10 missions and fail them. Which, you'd be honest, how many live streams I saw of people just absolutely butt fucking failing them. So, that's great. It's great. So, by the end of that major order, 3 of the 7 megacities fell. So, we only got 4 left. Equality on Sea was at 30%. York Supreme, my home, was being attacked. Port Mercy and Prosperity were still alive. They hadn't been hit yet, but by the end, they'd all be gone. So when the last major order came out, it was literally just hold Super Earth for 4 days. We just had to hold it until it expired in 4 days. Now, when we were fighting in the megacities, there were only 5 different missions that you could do, which became, after like the 5th or 6th time doing them, it kind of got repetitive. And they were the black box, evacuate civilians, and the missile evacuations, where you just stand there and kill hordes of enemies. Which, I mean, that one wasn't that bad. It was only like 20 minutes long. But those were already in the game, but there were 2 new ones. And the 2 new ones, one of them was really good, and the other one was butt-fuck awful. And they were the take down the overships and repel the fleet. The overships, in my honest opinion, they're the best. They were the best ones to do. They were the most fun. And, they worked similarly to the ICBM missions on the other planets. All you had to do, but instead of, like, turning on the reactors and stuff, all you had to do was find 2 sets of codes in these little bunkers, which, for some reason, there was a lot of weird stuff happening in those bunkers. Somehow they were closed as well. But, you found them, you head to the orbital cannon, you input the passkey, you watch it raise up, you aim it at the overship that's been in the sky the entire time, and then you fire the cannon to take it down. The second new mission was repel the fleet. And this, out of every mission I have ever played in this entire game, is the absolute worst one to do. It is quite literally just destroying outposts, but you have to wait for the ship to land in order to destroy it. And, they spawn one, and then you have to run across the entire map just to destroy the other. And you have to run all the way back to where you originally were to destroy the other ones, while being chased by voteless and other crap. The best thing you can use against them was the grenade pistol and the autocannon exosuit, unless fucking, Chris Kyle, also known as the Leviathan, decides to spawn in, one-shot you, ruin your day, and, nearly make you punch a hole in your monitor. The background gameplay is on lower level, just so I could show you guys how it's done. But if I'm gonna be completely honest, Godspeed, God bless you, if you try and do this mission on a level 7 or higher. It is the absolute worst.
Stand ready for my arrival, worm.
On the higher level missions, you have to deal with non-stop flying overseers, and somehow, they know where you're going, they know who you are, they know where you are, and they They come out of corners just to skull fuck you. It's the worst mission in this entire game, and I stand by that. I will die on this hill. You will have to rip me off in order for me to like take this back. Now, during the second major order, you know, the one completing 220 million missions. Sorry, we got our first ever, and I'm pretty sure this is the first ever secondary major order, which was to go and kill 200 million automatons to get enough metal to bring the DSS back online. Which was honestly, in my humble opinion, was a godsend, because after fighting the Illuminate for basically a week and a half, from the major order where they originally came out of the black hole to continuously fighting them on Super Earth, I was very, very close to schedule an appointment to get a lobotomy. But after fighting them, it was kind of a refresh, and I'm pretty sure that helped everybody want to continue fighting. Because around a day after the last major order was issued, the DSS came back online, instantly got sent to Super Earth, which caused the rate at which the Illuminate were taking the megacities to be cut in half. And we skyrocketed us taking the cities back. Obviously, everything was automatically triggered on the DSS, so you know, orbital strikes, eagle storms, the Hellpod optimization. The eagle storms that were happening, I'm pretty sure I died more to the eagle storms than I did to the Illuminate throughout the entire battle. I'm just going to be 100% honest. Now, there was a secondary major order that was issued at the very end. It was like the 2 days left on the final major order to hold Super Earth, and it was issued because Fort Union in the Terminid sector was under attack, where a software engineer was sitting there, you know, armchair warrior, was making a malware to destroy the remaining fleet, and we had to defend it. Thankfully, it only took basically less than a day to defend it, and it dropped the fleet strikes down to 3%, basically guaranteeing us the win. So, in the end, after the malware was sent out, it took about one more day to bring an end to the remaining fleet, resulting in a complete and total, definitely not hard-fought Super Earth victory, and making the squids run away like little cowards they are, and resulting in them glassing the 3 planets they had taken control before Super Earth was invaded. So, you know, I guess it's a win. However, in a solemn moment right now, in the final days of the battle, the Super Earth President was killed in action. So I would like to take a moment of silence for him. Yeah, but a new one was re-elected like a day after, so it's not really that important. That was basically the battle for Super Earth in a nutshell. Quick video, not too in depth, because I wasn't able to do a lot with all my amazing, epic video footage being corrupted by the godforsaken upstate New York weather. But if you liked it, leave a like, comment, subscribe, so that way I can get ad revenue in order to buy a full-size Luna Wolf body pillow.